unfortunately, the merciful nature of the prophet and how he gave an example of leadership, moral leadership. And his main message, one of his main messages, have been forgotten not only in the Western world, but unfortunately as well in many places of the Islamic world. We as Christians know what this means, as this was exactly the case with Jesus Christ by Christianity during no less than 1,800 years, the dark area of Inquisition, killing hundreds of thousands, millions, the Crusaders killing millions, or the religious wars against the Protestants in Europe. I therefore believe that to make the world a better place, we urgently need an Islamic renaissance, back to the roots of Islam. We have to bring back Muhammad's teaching of mercy, respect, and tolerance, not only to the Muslims, but to the whole world, to the Christians, the Jews, the Hindus as well. Out of this, I'm convinced, will come a new intellectual partnership of us all, like we are sitting here representing the whole world. And out of this will come a new moral leadership and a promotion of peace. True Muslim friends must actively, not passively, actively, openly reject the new negative forces of Jahiliyyah, and they must promote openly the Prophet's moral word of din and the society of helm. Why is it so that 93% of the moderate Muslims, according to a new Gallup, leave the public opinion and the attention to a tiny minority of only 7% of radicals? How can this be? This is no leadership. I never blame the radicals for what they do. I always blame us that we don't do. We as Christians should not forget that only in the maybe last 200 years, which means the last 10% of Christianity, Christianity had become more tolerant and respectful towards other religions and has come back to the true spirit of Jesus. We needed 1,800 years to reach this status now. This is a very long road back to Jesus' true teaching. We Christians must reach out our hands to our Muslim friends, to our Muslim brothers and sisters, as we all belong to one large global family with a strong common root of Abraham and our common prophets. All of us, Christians, Muslims, Jews, Hindus, and Buddhists, must pay respect to the other people and to the prophets of the other people and beliefs. And we must speak out openly, together promoting tolerance and respect. But we should never just analyze and demand. As businessmen and you as businesswomen, we are used to look for a concrete action plan. How can we promote, step by step, human codes of tolerance and respect? I invite you our fascinating project of the World Security Network, and please mail me your ideas, which we would like to integrate. We should start by collecting best practice from all over the world and learning out of them for our own communities. Together, we can formulate easy to understand rules for the 5 influential groups which have an enormous influence on promoting tolerance, respect towards other ethnic groups and religions, and I would include women's rights as well. These are, number one, the families. We don't have to ask a state. We can do it in our own families. Number two, the educators, like the university. Number three, the religious leaders. Number four, the journalists. Number five, the politicians. The codes of tolerance we're working on are intended to promote tolerance, respect, and dignity for ethnic minorities and people of different religions all over the world. We are one world now. And they have to support a peaceful coexistence between other religions, races, and nationalities in our global village. There are already, and you will find thousands of grassroots projects from which we can choose best practice examples. And you find a number of academic and non-government approaches. But there is yet no precise strategy, no recipe, how to implement those single good deeds. Implementing the codes of tolerance is enormously important for conflict areas, for nation building, and it's enormously important as soft factors of peacemaking. Let me just share some examples. We have a long list, only some examples. Examples for families. We have found in this war-torn Palestine, Israel, an island of dialogue. It's the Art Road for Peace initiative of the Tel Aviv Museum of Arts, educating Jewish and Arabic children in cooperation through working on art projects. When I see this area, I get emotional and outraged because this area needs not a discussion about borders, but a discussion about reconciliation. There is no politics of reconciliation on both sides at all. We support this project a little bit, and as well we support now a roadshow for children, which is starting in Berlin. It's showing to the Germans that diversity, foreigners, and our strong Turkish Muslim population in Germany are something positive for the Germans themselves. We see very clearly that it's necessary to give the learning of foreign languages a priority at school in an early age, because another language is a door to another culture and to peaceful cooperation. Examples for teachers and schools include a joint schoolbook commission with representatives from different groups representing two sides of the history. And as well, we must enhance tolerance and respect in religious lessons and books focusing on our common roots and aims of respect and tolerance. The religious leaders, and I name all kinds of religious leaders, why don't they learn from the Prophet what he did? Why don't we have local committees with religious leaders, Christian, Islamic, Jewish communities? Why don't we have here diplomatic relations with the Holy Seat? And the Pope, I know, would be very interested to do so. Why don't we have kind of get-together reconciliation ceremonies in churches, in mosques, in synagogues?